Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsessions
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hey, you guys, it's me, Jackie Kashian. That's right. First ranger among rangers of the Dork Forest. You're listening to the Dork Forest. The websites, of course, are thedorkforest.com. Just regular dorkforest.com goes right to it. There's familypetancestry.com that goes to jackiekashian.com because it made me laugh. Allthingscomedy.com has a Dork Forest page, and that is because that is my podcast umbrella network, and they have a lot of other podcasts on their website. If you're looking for other pods to listen to, a lot of stand-up comics have their podcasts on there. Al Madrigal and Bill Burr, of course, being the most famous. The credits, let's do it. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio. Mike Rickberg composed and sang the intro song to the Dork Forest. He will sing again his words to the Mexican hat dance at the end. And Vilmos fixes JackieKashian.com. He will be fixing up the merch page and making everything more expensive. So if it's $25 for a t-shirt with shipping, it's $30. Then that is taken into account that postage has gone up. And yeah, I raised the prices. But it all includes shipping. All the merch, I might as well talk about it. If you go to JackieKashian.com on the merch page, the store page, you can get Ranger the Dork Forest t-shirts, the Dork Forest t-shirts. I'm phasing out the brown ones. It's just going to be green. But I have some left in stock, and I'm going to bring them on the road. They're all union made, all the t-shirts. They are made in the United States of America by union workers who have dental and healthcare, very glamorous. And so hence, they run big, just so you know, because they're made by union members and Americans. We proudly, I guess, or with some shame, are slightly larger than other people. You can also get all of my CDs. My CDs are available digitally on Amazon or iTunes. You can just also stream them on Pandora or Spotify, but you can buy hard copies on my website. So there's the first one, Circus People. Hard copy includes a QuickTime video from my 2003 Comedy Central special. It's Never Gonna Be Bread, which was top 10 comedy albums of the year in 2010 when it came out on Amazon.com. And my new one, which came out last year, was top 5 comedy specials of the year on vulture.com, and that is called This Will Make an Excellent Horcrux. This Will Make an Excellent Horcrux is available as a CD, as a DVD, or as a downloadable $10 special on comedyfilmnerds.com, which I also write movie reviews for. You can get just a download of it. The DVD itself has a DVD bonus, and I can sign anything. I can not sign things. There is a new t-shirt, and it is the Spooky Reading Girl t-shirt, a reference from my act. Okay, other than that, the LA Podcast Festival is coming up, you guys. It's where everybody gathers. And if you're coming to it, go to lapodfest.com and buy tickets and come to the podcast festival. It's the weekend of September 19th. If you can't make it, you can live stream all of them for a month. All of the different podcasts are being filmed and then live streamed and then saved for a month. So you can buy them all for $25 if you are not going to be able to make the podcast festival and you would like my podcast and everybody else's podcast in the whole world. Mark Maron's podcast is going to be there. Aisha Tyler's podcast is going to be there. Thrilling Adventure Hour is doing one. Paul Gilmartin, who was just on the show. And you can live stream all of it. It's $25 for all of them. You can save $5 if you use my code, which is DORK, D-O-R-K, oddly enough. And then it's $20 for everybody. My podcast is going to be 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 19th. My guest will be Greg Proops. And then I'm also doing Paul Gilmartin's podcast that night, where we will open a vein and talk about any sort of mental illness that I might have, because he has a thing called Mental Pod, Paul Gilmartin. That's at 10 p.m. All these times are Pacific. Now, when I do the live shows now, I'd make them premium episodes. That's on Bandcamp. So if you go to probably bandcamp.com/thedorkforest, I don't know, there's a link. And there's special their special premium episodes, I think they cost $2 because sometimes the live ones cost money to put up with the audio guy and the travel and the hotel and whatever. Other than that, there's of course a donation button on both dorkforest.com and jackiekashian.com where you can donate to the show. If you are enjoying the show, feel free to donate. This has been a weird year financially, and so if you like the show, you could donate $10 a month. I haven't made that easy because I don't like regular money coming out of anything. So you just have to remember, oh, I like this show. Here's $10. And I'd love $100 from everybody. That's what I would love. If you have $100 a year, I would love that. And if you have more, God knows, I would love that too. But whatever you like, whatever you can afford, and if you can't afford any of it, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm glad you like the show. Talk it up. You can also support the show by buying merch, which we talked about, or using the Amazon banner on jackiekashian.com, which is when you order from Amazon, and we all do. I'm almost certain we all do. I know it only works with the U.S. version of Amazon, though. But you click through to the U.S. Version of Amazon, you do your order just like normal, and it supports the show a little bit. And it doesn't cost you anything extra on Amazon. I do stand-up comedy, Jackie Kashian does, and there is a tour page on jackiekashian.com that tells you where I'll be doing it. It's an exciting time. Feel free to come and see me live. But for the love of everybody and their grandmother, let's get into the dorkdom of the day. Thanks for listening, you guys. Let's do this. Hey, it's Jackie Kashian talking into a new mic so the piece might pop. See? Get that? Patrick Brady told me to purchase some windscreens. I'm going to be sitting a little bit away. I'm here in my living room with Jay Mohr. Welcome to the Dork Forest, my friend.
I'm impressed with the windscreens. More impressed with the wind sock above your home. Just
if only.
Bring in that Cessna.
There's the windsock and the chime are two things Andy Ashcraft will have no part of.
Are there chimes at airports next to the windsocks?
How great would that be? No, I've never seen a chime in an airport, but
you
how busy...
can't land that plane today. Look at those chimes.
Those chimes would be the most loudest chimes in the world.
I picked the wrong sense for chimes. I said look instead of listen, like a dope.
Jay Mohr, we've done each other's pods before.
Yes.
You have a radio show on the Fox thing. Sports.
Oh, who cares? Let's talk about More Stories podcast. Forget that.
But
that's corporate stuff.
At Jay Mohr and jaymohr.com.
At Jay Mohr 37.
Oh, yeah. Is it 37 at Jay Mohr?
Somebody squatted on my name.
That'll happen.
So it's at Jay Mohr 37.
Which was the year we were both born. Right?
My father was born in 1937.
Was he?
Yeah,
my brother uses the number 12, I think, for things, because for some reason...
That was George Carlin's favorite number.
I think it was the year that my father came back into our lives and fixed his life. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And there's the Carlin tie-in, and you're a comedian.
It's
he was obsessed with 12s.
Was he?
Yeah. My wife's
do you think he's a numerologist?
No, he just had weird stuff, that he dug. Like, my wife's a big 8 person.
She likes 8. I like 7. And it's because
Mickey Mantle.
It's when I first met my oldest nephew, who he's my brother's stepson, and I love that kid with the power of the sun. And I was like, 7's going to be my favorite age.
That's a good number. Good. What's
his
name? The kid.
His name's Young Paul Boyer.
Young Paul Boyer.
Boyer's
This is Jay Mohr telling you, straighten up, fly right, young man. You got nothing to worry about with people like this.
The guy's
around you.
He buys wine for some chain of wine.
Your 7-year-old nephew buys wine.
He buys, it's nice. I met him probably 30 years ago now. So he's probably maybe 25. He's probably 32 or
important
30.
piece of the story. You kind of redacted on me there.
Yeah.
Hey, I like your app. I have your, look.
Yeah, that's what I want to, you were telling me you like my app. I don't even have my app.
The Dork Forest app. Anybody
Can
listening?
I see it?
Yeah, of course. Let me take it off airplane mode.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
need to take it
have you and Greg Proops and mine.
Okay.
I listen to me because I interrupt so much. So I only listen.
It's got the Ranger image, and then
it's a good app. It's very easy. You plug it into the car stereo, and you just listen to Jackie Kashian.
And it's all good.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, wow. And it goes back like 30 episodes.
And I wanted to tell you this nice thing that happened about you was I was listening because I have the Greg Proops' app as well. I have an app, More Stories app, if you guys wish.
More Stories with an H.
That's right. And Greg Proops was doing a show at Nerd Melt, and he was going through he's got that crazy Secretary of State schedule he always runs through. On the 12th I'll be in New Zealand, on the 13th I'll be in London, I'll be in London for 48 hours. Then we're going to Japan. Then I'll be at Nerd Melt. Then I'll be at Barloo. And then I'm going to do the Dork Forest podcast with Jackie Kashian. And like huge applause.
Oh, that's great.
So I was like, oh, I got to get in there.
Oh, yeah, you gotta.
I called you that day.
That you did call me that day. Is that what inspired you to say, hey, let me get back on the Dork Forest?
Yeah, well, I wanted to go on.
Anyone listening who's on a long line that Jay Mohr just jumped, squeaky wheel, you guys. That's how you get on the Dork Forest.
That's
all you
it.
gotta do.
Yeah, I got dates to promote. That's really how, like, when podcasts episodes get shelved, it's like, hey, man, they just had dates to promote. I mean, I can't. Hey, if I'm going to be, at Stand Up Live.
Right, you got Houston, October 17th.
House of Blues.
And Phoenix October 22nd.
Yeah, Phoenix, October 22nd, Stand Up Live. So I got
fans in both of those places.
Got to jump the line.
Rangers are out there, jump the line. And this, it's so. How's your app? Do you listen to the phone bonus? Do you ever listen to the phone bonus, which is only available on the app?
I don't know what that means, so apparently not.
There's a bonus that Libsyn, because Libsyn created the app, and they're like, you can put additional content, and it'll just play on the app. It'll be bonus content, so it's 1 to 3 minutes of me and Andy Ashcraft, my fella.
By the way, good dude, man. That's nice. You walk in somebody's house at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the husband's standing there. Usually, it's like. Hi. Very warm, easy going. That was nice.
He's a morning person, really. It's nice.
You and I are sitting here. We're resting our chins on the mic.
Yeah.
Andy, you bastard.
Oh, my God.
So what? Phone content.
It's called the phone bonus. And
so I would get in touch with Lisbon.
Well, let me see it again. I don't know why.
The more
it's a real
stories
clock eater, by the way, Jay.
And by the way, everybody,
start talking about.
We don't exactly like. We're not asking you to get our apps because like we get paid from it.
Oh
we
my
don't
God!
At all.
There's no money.
None.
Involved.
But we really want you to get the app because it's super convenient for you just to listen to us like on all your devices and in your cars and on airplanes.
People some people really do like a device.
Let me tell you something. When I discovered podcasts myself.
Yeah.
You don't care about being in traffic at all. Like you're talking about Houston, like you're on that beltway just sitting there.
What else? What do you listen to? Do you listen
Greg
to
Proops, you, and I've Greg Proops and you on my phone.
Right now. Those are the ones you're listening to?
I have Aisha Tyler.
Yeah. Always a treat.
She pulls like some guests out. Like she went to high school with Sam Rockwell, and I'm like, I want Sam Rockwell so bad.
I know when there's podcast guest envy. It gets
Anthony Cumia. I have his app.
I don't know who that is.
You wouldn't.
No, I don't know who anybody is. You know that Lori Kilmartin? Do you know Lori Kilmartin?
Is she related to Paul?
No.
Because he was one of your guests that I just listened to. It was
Paul
fascinating.
Paul Gilmartin. There you go, Paul Gilmartin.
Lori, yes.
Here's the weirdest thing. Is the phone bonus isn't... Here's the Paul Gilmartin episode. It's not showing up on the audio post. So maybe there's more to it. Who knows?
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
But we have apps, people. Get our apps.
Are you on Libsyn? Is that who uploads you? Yeah. Did they make your app or did you have it made separately?
I don't know. Somebody said...
That would have been Libsyn.
I said, we need to get an app. And then a friend of mine said, I'll take care of it.
Oh, my gosh. So
like, I'll put old ones up, like, David Lee Roth is an old one. Like, I got weird people on, like...
You got some awesome people on there.
But I put, like, my priest on, too.
Yeah.
Like Monsignor Jim Lasante from Long Island. I always like to play devil's advocate. Like, I know what all the atheists are yelling at their radio.
I am from a family of devil's advocate. Why? What draws you? What makes you want to say, you know what? I want to be the devil in this particular conversation.
I want to represent the constituency.
He's a bad guy. the devil's the bad guy, right?
Right.
Why would you want to advocate for that guy? That guy's a bad guy.
Me personally, why do I want to do it to a priest? Because I have a lot of listeners that are atheists, and I know what's running through their minds, and I want to ask that question for them.
Okay.
Without ever
you're
shoving
not button pushing him.
Oh no! Without ever shoving Catholicism down anybody's throat. I know an atheist is going, how you can't, whatever the question would be, but I do get really good stuff out of. I've had my Father Willie's been on twice, and all my priests are young, cool guys. Like Father Willie and I box.
Youth pastors.
At the same gym, and he's from Maine. He was a state champion boxer, and they all had lives before they had their calling.
Yeah.
And Father Tim, I surf with, and he was a party guy in Acton.
Oh,
California.
You got to listen to the surfing episode. Have you listened to the surfing episode with Murray Valeriano and an Australian guy whose name is...
I did listen to it.
Yeah,
And
Monty,
you were
Monty
getting
Franklin.
obsessed with longboard versus shortboards.
Well, I was getting obsessed with the fact that you carry your board around with you. Isn't that heavy? I mean, I was.
But all
I was
your
obsessed.
questions were. I thought your questions were completely salient points, and you were acting as if what you were asking them was like. I'm sorry to ask you another ridiculous question. I was like, well, no. If I'm Jackie Kashian, I've never surfed. These are great questions.
They're good. They're perfectly. And Murray told me at the end of it. He said, you didn't ask me afterwards. He said, you didn't ask like the main 3 questions everybody asks surfers. So it made it more interesting for us. Like, I guess the main 3 questions people get asked are something about sharks and something about, I don't know. No, I asked.
Those 3 sharks. And
just more
I
sharks
don't know.
and then some other sharks. I'm known for not asking the right questions. I interviewed Bill Willingham, who's a comic book guy, and I got off stage, and Andy's giant comic book guy. He goes, you didn't ask him anything about comics. And you didn't ask him anything like what people usually ask him at conventions and stuff, because it was a live episode at a con. And I was like, well, he was in Vietnam. He was a tank operator. I wanted to talk about that. And he goes,
pretty interesting. Yeah.
That's fascinating. And everyone enjoyed that episode, so it all worked out.
What does Andy know?
What does Andy know? He was applauding it. He said, "You're right. Everybody knows more than they've heard him talk about fables and his comic."
So you get.
Let's talk briefly about your dorkdom.
Okay, yeah. I get obsessive about some dorky stuff that people probably wouldn't think a
Right, because
high school wrestler.
Right, slow clap jock
turned
Jay
comic.
Mohr.
Oh yeah,
we brought it up before.
You coined me slow clap jock.
Slow clap jock. It is a compliment.
I didn't know I was a jock.
Which is so weird.
I
because
played
you work
baseball
at a sports place.
and
Wrestling.
I wrestled, and it was when Brian Posehn was on my podcast. He called me a jock, and I'm like, I'm not a jock. He's like, all right, look at me, right?
Yes.
Now look at you. I go, all right, but we're comic. Like once you're a comic, that's your tribe.
doesn't
You're
feel,
a comic.
yeah.
He goes, did you get a varsity letter in a sport? I said yes. He said, how many? And I said, which sport? And he goes, you're an asshole.
See, but the thing is you emailed me. You're like this list of dorkdoms that we could talk about, and the one that I have a bone to pick with people who love the Real Housewives, and you
I don't know
love
what's
the
not
Real.
to love.
What's
Not only
not-
do I love it, I used to blog on Bravo, whatever their website is, about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, my home state, and I did it for free. I did it for the passion of Teresa and Joe Giudice and the battle they had with the Gorgas.
Wow,
I mean, it's
the
like
Gorgas?
Romeo and Juliet. It was crazy. And I blogged for free for an entire year, and I was still intermittently on my Twitter, hey, when are your blogs coming back? And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. It takes hours.
Right, because you got to watch it and then
You do it
dissect
right,
it,
yeah.
You got to make it funny and entertaining.
Yeah.
So let's start early on, because I've not seen one of them.
Okay.
Not even one. So there's many different franchises. What was the first one? Who were the
Orange
first?
County was the first one, and they
Real
sold it. Bravo sold it as gated communities. It wasn't Housewives.
Okay.
Like the way
It was like
became,
rich people thing.
And there was a stat in the opening credits, like there's 300 million Americans, 19 million live behind gated walls.
Oh.
And like it was Casa de Coto, this place in Orange County. But then the franchise as it stands now is just the Real Housewives of all these different cities, which is fascinating because none of them are housewives.
Right.
Like Bethany Frankel, like Real Housewives of New York, runs like Skinny Girl. She created that conglomerate. Like she's as big as Pepsi Cola.
Wow.
And she lives
What is
alone.
Skinny Girl?
Skinny Girl is like a cocktail mix, like Skinny Girl wine, Skinny Girl mixers.
Is it like a diet booze thing?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, you know what? The world has always wanted a diet booze thing.
That's it. And they all like wind up doing cookbooks. They all do. They all have
because they're housewives, but they're quote housewives.
Yes, and they're it's amazing to me because like as a comic, you're always like, where's my ancillary income going to come from? Am I going to write a book? Am I going to do a podcast? And like these ladies will do like cookbooks or like they release songs.
What?
Like,
They're allowed to record music?
A lady from Atlanta, Kim Zolciak, Tardy for the Party. Don't be tardy for the party.
Don't be tardy for the party.
And like for like a summer, they'll be like hit like Luann de Lesseps, the Countess, Real Housewives of New York, and Elegance, what? Money can't buy you class. Elegance is learned, my friend. And then, Melissa Gorga, Real Housewives of New Jersey, had on display a song. And here's where I had to completely tap out of the housewife stuff is when I got into a Twitter battle with a housewife.
Oh, with an actual housewife?
Yes.
You're high profile enough that they will talk to you.
If you wrestle with pigs, you get mud on you, and the pig enjoys it.
Right. That's the only person having a good time.
So I tapped out completely of the Twitter waging the war that I was in with this Melissa Gorga lady.
And what city is she from?
New Jersey.
Okay.
And so what I did instead was when I went as a guest on Watch What Happens Live, my friend Andy Cohen's got this great show. It's like just nonsensical fun he'll have like a housewife and like
it's a panel?
Yeah, sort of. It's
like
a half hour. It's the best case scenario. It's him and then there's 2 chairs, there's a bar.
Okay.
And just super fast. It'll be like a housewife and Jackie Kashian or 2 housewives, or it'll be like Katie Couric and like a husband of a housewife.
Okay.
Like, he gets huge guests.
All right.
But I was the first like straight male that was all in.
Right.
And
that you were like, I know everything. You can go toe to toe with these people.
And so I was on it. And what I did instead to get out of the Melissa Gorga, because my whole thing was like her song stinks.
Right.
And then she's like on Twitter, this went back and forth. It was ridiculous. And then people that enjoy Real Housewives franchises are so they're crazy.
They're pretty passionate.
That's a word. I'll say bat guano. Check the floors of the caves for bat shit because they're hanging upside down crazy.
Oh my god!
So team Melissa, it's always team this, team that. Team Melissa went crazy. Like you don't even understand. Like this is a great song. She's talented. So when I was a guest on Watch What Happens Live, my wife, who has all the great ideas in my life, she said you have to do the song. When you're there.
Oh, a cover? While you're on the show.
Yeah, so I was a guest on Watch What Happens Live.
Yep.
I brought out an acoustic guitarist, and I just banged out like a super quiet, like Chet Baker version of this awful
like an unplugged VH1.
Every day on display. And like just nailed it. Like it won, and it was great. Like game over. Like this, I can do no auto-tune. There's some ginger guitarist, some redheaded guy.
Just walking around guy, you're like, hey, you play? Let's do this.
It was fun.
And, that's funny. Did he have to, was it hard for him to learn the song, or is it one of the simple tunes of the world?
It was, maybe you didn't hear the Real Housewives of New Jersey as the artist part.
Right. Did she supposedly write the tune?
The whole season was her with the grave diggers, spelled like, naturally. Coming to her home, and her husband Joe Gorga building her like this fantastic recording studio.
So the other premise, there was something. Who was it who had the idea?
I need a beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's up, dorks?
You're a dreamer, man. That's what your Coke calls you. Did you see that? They're not.
I like to think David Lee Roth works in a Coke factory. Little dreamer.
They're not putting names on them anymore. I don't know what's happening.
We got Dreamer.
You get
What's
Dreamer.
yours say?
There was a soapbox driver. No, I don't know what it doesn't say anything.
That's a weird one.
That is super weird. But okay, so there's 5 of these shows though, right?
There's New York City. Real Housewives of New York City. The first one was Orange County.
Okay.
New York City, Atlanta.
Right.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, Beverly Hills. Okay.
That's a really good one.
That was a good one.
There's a lot of drama, because they're all so fucking rich.
Right.
It's crazy.
Like crazy rich, right? Most of these, they're all pretty wealthy, or do you think they're subsidized by the reality TV industry?
They become wealthy for like that.
Okay.
But you're only doing like 12, because for the civilians listening, you go like, hey, I made $10,000 a week doing a guest, a TV show. And everybody's like, wow, you're a millionaire. You go, no, it's 13 weeks. And then I have nothing.
Right.
But the government takes 50% because they think you're making that all 52 weeks.
Right.
So I think those housewives, they make like
$50,000. Oh, for the season.
Per episode.
Oh, per episode.
It's gotten nuts.
And how many episodes per season?
12,
Okay.
13, 14,
So regular.
15. Personal appearance. You drop a
Right,
hit
and then they
record in the
do-
Hamptons.
Right. Who doesn't want to?
Books. I don't watch Atlanta so much because there's just too many wigs. I'm not. It's like more of a black.
You like real hair?
Yeah, it's more like black women. There's one
Like-
white lady, Kim Zolciak, who has Tardy for the Party, and a
Okay.
spin-off. They get spin-off shows.
Okay.
Real Housewives of New Jersey, we mentioned.
What are the spin-offs of New Jersey?
Caroline Manzo, who's actually a friend of mine through just being the
fan.
blogs and stuff,
Yeah.
and being a voice of sanity on this complete crazy Guido show. Her and I like text back and forth. She's been on the podcast and stuff like that. And she's got nice kids. Like her sons would come to my stand-up shows when I was on the East Coast. She has a show, Growing Up Manzoed, because she's becoming an empty nester and all her kids are getting out. But like her husband owns this enormous restaurant in New Jersey called the Brownstone. It's like where you have like weddings and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's weird because like that's where I grew up, and I used to work at this place, the Friar Tuck Inn, which looks the same. So like whenever they visit him at work, I'm like,
Flashback to
yeah, this is like where I get.
what did you do at that job?
I was a waiter. I became
Okay.
an alcoholic too. Because
Oh,
when you're
nice.
16 and somebody goes, "You want to help me bartend?" You go, "Sure." And wow, these Budweiser bottles come in 6 ounces. I can put this down pretty quick.
Yep, no one will notice.
Oh, it was
No one
great.
will see a thing.
It was a good time to be a drunk.
Well, so you have watched
I
All of
love your passion, by the way.
of
this is
hearing about what the hell.
yeah, like the surfer guys. I feel
Yeah.
like here's the thing with reality TV too that fascinates me, that dorks me out, is that they think they're like on TV. Because like when they walk down the street, people go, "Vicky!" and like they scream.
Right. They think that they're Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah. And it's like, no, you're on reality TV. And
No.
reality TV, I've been offered it.
Yeah.
Me and my wife. And it's like, because we were in the mix with Bravo with the blogs. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, no. Because once you let them in, you can never say, that's enough. Like, you know what? I'm with my kid at
Right.
the 3rd Street Promenade. Could you guys screw off? You know?
Yeah.
No.
No.
And you see it like at the end
Look
of
at
every.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
That's turned into such a horrible, like, I don't know when Bruce Jenner wanted to get out of that situation.
Of the Kardashian
But
situation?
there was no way to get out of that.
You know how much
situation.
money they make?
I don't.
The day players, like Scott Disick.
Okay.
Like he makes $75,000 an episode, and he's like just married to the little one.
He's married to one of the Kardashian kids? Girls? Women? Chloe, maybe?
He's married to Courtney. Chloe's the big one with Lamar Odom.
Right. I don't
and
know.
Kim is Kim.
All I know is that at least once a week I get a hilarious tweet telling me that the Kardashians are one syllable away from Cation. And you're like, yes, I get what I don't know what you're saying, but it doesn't seem flattering.
Everybody tweet me that instead of don't tweet at Jackie Kashian, tweet at Jay Mohr 37 and spare her that.
Right, it's
Send
a lot.
it my way. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
I do want to know, Rangers, that you're listening. So I would actually, in all earnestness and honesty, would
Yeah.
love it if you hit me up. I don't even care if you follow me. Do whatever you want to do with your life.
You don't
Get my
have to
app.
go see him over at Houston on October 17th or in Phoenix on October 22nd. You don't have to. But you could go to jmohr.com and
A lot of content. Pride myself on that site. A lot of content on
That's
that
it.
site.
Wander
And here's
that
the thing.
site. It's a
what
rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
You can be on my site for an hour. There's enough weird videos and it's
Nice.
But the thing with the podcast too is hit subscribe to more stories. You don't even have to listen to it. It costs you nothing. Hit the subscribe button, get the app. Me and Jackie get credit for it. You can walk away from it's a dumpster fire to you for all I know. But I need to know that you peeked inside and bounced out. That's all.
Right, and just saw what it was like.
What do you want to know about these ladies? Because
Okay.
I got you. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
I am the only person ever
Yeah.
to be a guest host on Watch What Happens Live on Bravo.
Okay.
No one has ever. First of all, how
Is
Andy.
Watch What Happens Live just sort of a panel show about about reality television?
It's about the Real Housewives and Below Deck. All the Bravo.
All the Bravo
only Bravo.
reality.
Yeah, and
Like
Andy
Top
Cohen.
Chef? No.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll do Top
No,
Chef?
if it's what I don't know if that's on Bravo or
That
not.
is on Bravo. So.
Then yes.
Okay.
And there's 2 guests, and there'll be like a star like bartender.
Okay. Oh,
Like,
nice.
You know, hey, look who came over.
From the Love Boat, that guy.
Exactly.
Isaac.
Exactly. Yeah, and he does
Fantastic.
the point.
But you were a guest host.
I was in New York doing stand up. Andy Cohen was on. I think he was doing the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion in Orange County, and he couldn't get back in time. And they said, "Would you be able to guest host?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah,
yes,
like this."
Please.
And it's live, which, as you know, is the greatest and most fun. It's high wire,
much more fun.
Cue cards and teleprompters everywhere.
Right.
Like anything that's not on camera, there are words written down for you.
You should be saying these things.
You wear an IFB in your ear, which for the listener is about the size of a peanut, flesh colored. You never see it. And that means they go 10, 9, 8 to commercial.
Yeah.
So like at 3 seconds, you go, we'll be right back with more right after this.
Are they talking while you're talking?
Sometimes.
I couldn't do that. I mean, maybe I would learn. Maybe it might just be like a battle helmet that Miles Warkoskin has in that one book I read. Anyway,
tell me about that. 'Cause you lost me, and I don't like to be lost.
Well, you don't like to be. It's science fiction. He was.
I'm going to talk to this guy.
You know, Rodolfo is. He's mowing our lawn. Rodolfo's mowing our lawn.
From the Drowsy Chaperone.
What's
Rodolfo. Musical theater. What? A guy that wrestled in college
knows more about what.
I can't like Sweeney Todd. Rodolfo was Drowsy Chaperone. Never mind. Forget it. So what?
In Sweeney Todd?
No. I said I just mentioned. Yeah, I'm a big Sondheim guy. Jim Jeffries and I had a very odd episode of More Stories where we talked about musical theater. I looked at my watch. It'd been an hour and 10 minutes, and I went, "Here's one for the books."
Here's one. Yeah.
Like two guys you would Jim Jeffries. Like 2 guys you would never think.
I went and saw Hedwig last winter.
With Neil Patrick Harris?
No, it was with the original guy, whose name is spacing.
I don't know it
I don't
either.
know names. The guy wrote it. He was in the movie.
I think I want to do Billy, the guy from Chicago, Richard Gere played. He's got 2 songs.
I don't know.
So
He's got 2 songs?
That's all he has.
Oh, okay.
Billy, I forget his name. It's in Chicago. Richard Gere did it in the movie.
Okay.
And he, if I did Broadway, I'm like, I don't know how good I can sing or how terrified I will be on Broadway, but I know if I do Chicago, it's just those 2 songs.
Right. You could be that guy.
I'll take some beta blockers.
That's
I'll take like a Xanax bar or something.
A bar.
And just sing.
Right. Super fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back to the Real Housewives.
So I guest hosted.
How many members are in each
4 or
show?
5. 5 usually around.
They try to do 5.
Yeah, like what happens is you'll get your core and then 2 will go away and you replace them. Sometimes they don't work out.
Where will they go? Well, they'll just be like, I'm done, I'm storming out. They'll throw down $12
sometimes,
for pasta.
like Real Housewives of New York City.
I brought my own car.
There was a lady, Jill Zarin, who was a complete yenta, like like never stopped, like
just chatty Magoo.
Oh, in everybody's business, and it was great TV.
Yeah.
But she became a bit of, do you know who I am? And then she went to Bravo and demanded a whole bunch of stuff. And they were like, how about this? Here's the option B. Go fuck yourself. And she left. And we were watching the Real Housewives of New York reunion, my wife and I. And I said to my wife, do you think Jill Zarin's just watching this right now weeping? Because now they're all getting, like I said, like $50,000 a week. It's crazy.
Right. And book deals and whatever else they want.
Orange County, the first 2 seasons, there was a lady...
When did it start? Like 2006? I feel like it's been around.
I think it's 2000
years.
late.
2000 late.
Trying to be cool.
But I think
right
it's been
when your
around
nephew,
for like 10 years,
right when you found your nephew.
Oh, really? That would have been 97, you guys.
So right there.
And so is that when it all came together?
I don't know when. You're 2000.
But at least 10 years these things have been around. I feel like. I don't know.
I'm going to guess. I'll take the under. I'll say 9. I'm not sure. But you're right there. You're right in the wheelhouse.
Okay.
So like Orange County Housewives, there was a lady, I forget her name. But she married a guy, and her leading up to it, like they were dating. She had a horrible like marriage previously. She had really cool kids, and then she just met this like guy who was an actual billionaire. Mm-hmm. They got married, and they didn't get married like on the show. Like it
right.
It
he
wasn't.
Didn't want any part
they
of
had
it?
not mastered. No, he actually was okay with it.
Okay.
But they had not mastered the monetizing of everything. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So she got married to like this billionaire, and she just kind of tapped out. And every once in a while she'll come back, but like she left for that reason.
Right. How old are they when they like? Is anyone who started doing it 5 or 7 years ago still doing it?
Vicky Gundelson in Orange County, she's an OG.
Okay, or an original.
And New York
gal?
is Luann de Lesseps. She's the countess. She married a guy who was a count.
A genuine count?
So she was the countess, and that was like, that's the thing my wife and I split on. She really likes Luann. I like Luann too, but the countess stuff, I'm like, you know what? When you marry into it, easy.
Oh, interesting.
When you're telling Bethany,
Interesting.
listen, when you introduce me to the driver, it's Mrs. de Lesseps. Don't call me Luann.
Okay.
And my wife goes, well, it's probably her husband gave her an ear beating because of it. And I go, yeah, but it's Bethany's driver.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's my friend Luann. Listen,
you need to
Mrs.
use...
de Lesseps.
And I'm Mrs. Jim de Lesseps, or
and
whatever.
she did like a
it's
Hints for
1960.
Heloise, like Countess, like How to Behave book.
Oh.
And then that guy cheated on her, and they got a divorce, all public, all on the show.
Right.
So
and
now
she got
she's
a nice
single.
parting gift of half of his income, or?
I would hope so.
Okay.
That's the way it goes, isn't it?
That's the way it goes if you cheat.
I've been there. No, I've not cheated, but I've
Okay.
been there. We're giving somebody everything I've owned.
Everything. And then you're like, oh, I didn't need that anyway. Let's
You know
start
what's
over.
great about that, though?
What is great about it?
All the money that I left on the table because of either my behavior or terrible decision making would have went to someone else anyway, so I have no regrets.
Oh, there you go.
Like, I can't believe I turned down those 1-800-CALL AT&T commercials. Like, nah, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't have it.
Yeah, you would have lost that. That would have been
So-
dumb work anyway.
OGs.
Yes.
From the start. Vicky Gundelson. Vicky.
Right.
On
Vicky,
Orange County.
Luann.
Vicky. Bethany was in the first season of New York City, left because she became a billionaire,
Right.
then had a talk show that didn't work.
Right.
Then she came back, and it was this year.
How do they have the personality to sustain something like a talk show? I mean, they must be smart
I thought Bethany
women.
did. Yeah, some of them really are interesting. Mm-hmm. Some of them are dumb as bags of hair, like just human
walking
beings
around,
would be. Yeah.
piece of sand. So, and they're all, what are they, like 35? Or are they younger, 25?
Well, their faces are about 2 or 3.
Oh, so they're older.
Yeah.
So they're in their 40s or 50s or whatever.
Yeah, 40s
Okay.
and 50s, definitely. I don't know. There's one lady on Orange County that's new
Well,
this
that's
year.
got to be a reason to watch it if you're sitting in the middle of Indiana. You're like, oh, look, there's a woman my age, and I can
with
watch
a 2-year-old
her
face.
with a 2-year-old face, and for some reason an 11-year-old, and but at least they're not 12, you know.
Right.
And,
a lot of they're older gals. Like there's a lot of facelifts and a lot of Botox and a lot of IVF.
What's IVF?
In vitro fertilization.
Oh, right. Oh,
because you're too old to make eggs.
Science
and,
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. It has to be done.
So are they in a personality to carry something on their own? Bethany is mercurial, to say the least. Bethany Frankel.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave her a talk show, and I don't think it worked, obviously, because she's back. No.
Not yet.
No.
Not so far.
As a group, 1 through 30, no. But
Okay.
there's a couple outliers where you're like,
Has there been any genuine breakout stars?
Nene Leakes.
Nene Leakes.
She was on Parks and Rec.
Oh,
She's the black lady that wears blonde wigs on Atlanta.
okay. She's
She got N-E-N-E, Nene Leakes.
okay.
She got crazy famous.
Okay. So she actually started an acting career from this, or got
and
some work.
it went away.
It didn't stick.
Not to my knowledge, but
I
again,
can
I don't.
IMDb her and look and keep and follow her.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I don't watch the Atlanta one because you know what?
It's not for you.
It's also too. It's Black Housewives, and in just being completely honest, and when people get uncomfortable, like when you talk about race, I like talking about it because it's.
I like talking about it in elevators. I like to just bring it up like I work at Starbucks.
Asians, right? What floor you go? Sorry. But I can't, like New Jersey we talked about, I worked at a type of place.
Where did you grow up in Jersey?
Verona, 07044 in the Shadows, a giant stadium in the Meadowlands.
Okay, so.
But Atlanta,
Yeah.
these black women and their lives, I can't really relate to what's going on
You're
because
not
I
getting
don't.
sucked in.
I just don't know. I can't relate.
You're not. Yeah, it's not. I don't know how you can relate to the New Jersey old ladies. How are you?
Because I'm from New Jersey, and like these are the ladies I grew up with. These are the ladies on my street.
Okay.
How you doing, hon? Are you all right? JJ, how are ya?
And then
You want some veal parmesan? I just made it.
did you like The Sopranos?
Love this. Why are you kidding?
Well, no, it was a little tense for me.
I said Dean Del Rey on my podcast, and we were talking about overrated. I wanted a complete underrated list across the board, and then I got obsessed. I dorked out on, since the Rangers are listening.
Yep.
I'll use the nomenclature.
The vernacular.
I dorked out on things that are A+ great, but yet still underrated. Paul McCartney.
Oh, okay.
Completely underrated as
Which
a bassist.
is so weird because he's not living check to check. That guy. It's all working out.
But that's
But he's standing in the shadow of John Lennon, I guess, and so he gets some shit of that.
Music.
Is that why he's
I think
underrated?
music fans know that Paul wrote 80% of everything, and they came up with the concept albums of like Magical Mystery Tour and
So do you feel, but you still feel he's underrated, or he isn't valued as greatly as he ought to be?
I think people know he's Paul McCartney, he's a Beatle, but I don't think people realize. I mean, he wrote Helter Skelter, for crying out loud. He's a bassist. He plays lefty.
You know what I have? I have that Wings
Blackbird
conversation.
And Wings is great.
Well, it's the 2-disc thing. One is the hits, and one is the other. Like they're something like 30 number one hits, right, from Wings, and then the other album is like it was like B-sides or something, right? But what I listening to that in my car, I am struck by, and I know very little about a lot of music, but what I am struck by the songs of Wings, or the songs in this compilation, is that they seem to be 2 or 3 songs in one song. Like
That's very Paul. Like, You Never Give Me Your Money off of Abbey Road.
Okay.
The bass lines and stuff, like talking about Paul McCartney as a bassist, completely underrated. Like, he never comes up.
Okay.
Everybody always goes John Paul Jones from like Led Zeppelin or Bill Wyman or the guy from The Who, Entwistle or whatever. But like, Paul was just a phenomenal bassist. But Goodfellas, Dean Del Rey goes, I'm not a Goodfellas guy.
Oh, you didn't like the movie Goodfellas?
And I was like, what? Because you said about The Sopranos, just kind of not your cup of tea. But like Goodfellas, even though we think it's A+, room, it's underrated because every time you watch it, you're like, fuck, I didn't even realize
how great it was.
That guy Anthony, or it's better than you remember. It's just like that guy Anthony has 4 lines, but he's never on camera. Like, that's really weird.
Yeah, there's not a bad scene in Goodfellas.
There is a guy that none of his lines are on camera.
Oh, yeah?
I want you to look out for this.
Okay.
Anthony.
His name.
He shoots Spider in the foot. Well, first of all, when you're funny how? What's so funny about me?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I had too much to drink. I don't know. Hey, Joey, you got it all wrong. He's a big boy, Anthony. Let him speak for himself.
Right.
That's off camera in the restaurant.
Yep.
Then when he shoots Christopher from The Sopranos,
right?
I thought you said, "Am I right, Spider?" He goes, "You shot him in the fucking foot," and then you hear off camera, "How could you miss from this distance?"
Right.
And then Pesci looks at the guy off camera and he goes, "Do you have a problem with what I did, Anthony?" And he goes, "No." He's never on camera.
What I like about Goodfellas is that it is a depiction of the mob that feels so incredibly real that I've watched that movie probably 3 times in 25 years because it's too real for me.
I watched it once 3 times in 25 minutes.
Oh, I believe that.
I snorted Adderall.
It's that I tried to watch all the top 100 AFI movies on fast forward. I was like, people want me to watch all this bullshit. Fine, here we go.
Some of them are terrible.
Some of them are fine.
Some of them, no.
Some of them are terrible.
Some of them are fucking garbage movies. Some of these like all-time classics are bullshit. And it's a waste of your time. And same with books. Like people go, the classics like Moby Dick. Moby Dick, I will wipe my ass with. It's a pile of shit.
Have you tried it? I tried to read it when I was 15.
In high school I couldn't get through it. Go on, I'm sorry.
I did Cliff Notes in high school. And
Cliff Notes are better.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I just started rereading it, and
Do you care at all about it?
Not yet.
What page are you on?
I'm 32, 33.
You should care by now.
I should care.
I have a 50-page thing in my head. By 50 pages, if I don't care, I just put it away.
Well, here's what I will say about Moby Dick is that
I'm yelling.
When I was a kid, I had a hard time reading it because I tried to care about whaling. Like they would talk about scrimshawing and all of this different whaling terms, and I was like, who cares? Now I don't have to care. I can skim over those words.
Melville got paid by the word. That's what nobody knows. That's
He
why.
might have, right?
No, he did.
Okay.
And that's why it makes me so incensed when I read it as an adult. And I like to think I'm of above average intelligence, and I really love literature. I'll sit down from Anne Sexton poetry to
But I got
Bukowski
friends who
to
that's their favorite book.
Moby Dick?
Yeah.
They're dullards. Don't be friends with them. Look, I got to page 180. They're not in fucking water.
Okay.
It's the whale.
Right.
So, like, what are we doing in this little fucking village?
Well,
Get to sea already.
Well, the first 30 pages, it seems to
Sorry,
be
I'm
a political
shouting.
indictment against whatever. I don't want.
I just read into
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
What did you read?
Into Great Darkness, something like it was about a whaling expedition from Nantucket. They get sperm whales, but they go. There's no
And
Panama
it's all
Canal.
whale. It's all whales.
They're in the water right
They're
away.
right away with the water.
And it's fascinating.
I'm a huge
But they don't have a
fan.
Panama Canal then. It's
Okay.
the 1800s.
Right.
So these old ass wooden boats that go all the way down the eastern seaboard around the Cape of whatever it is,
Yep.
up Chile. And then like that's where they get their whales. And they're away for 2.5 years.
Right.
And they come back and they make their money. And they're like,
If they
oh wow,
live.
I have 3 kids.
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Fascinating. But
Yeah.
Moby Dick, like no, it's
Right.
terrible.
If you
Fahrenheit
think-
451, fantastic.
If you think it's about whaling, you are doomed. You are doomed to
Don't
never
read,
enjoy it.
Just don't read Moby Dick. Get our app. Just get our apps. We'll tell you what you're missing.
I'm sitting here with Jay Mohr, who's taking a stand against Moby Dick, you guys.
It's horrible. You
And,
think it's not horrible?
I don't think it's horrible. I think that it's actually pretty funny. I'm 30 pages in and I'm like, this is actually quite clever and kind of funny. It's dry. I haven't finished it.
No one ever
I just
has
finished
ever referred to Moby Dick as funny. And you're not that ironic.
No, I'm not. I am a simple woman of the people, Jay Mohr.
Yeah.
it's
that's why I'm
not-
like surprised because
Yeah.
I know you're like me. You have no irony in your body. If I'm wearing a Hello Kitty, if I have a Hello Kitty t-shirt on, it's because I fucking love Hello Kitty.
Right.
I don't wear anything ironically or
Yeah,
I don't
no.
go see Neil Diamond for a hoot. I'm going to see fucking Neil Diamond. I'm rocking out with my
I would
cock
like
out.
to see Neil Diamond, actually. That would be fun.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. And you
Yeah.
stand up and scream. I saw him at Staples Center. We screamed so loud, whoa, 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 hoping he would just stop and point and go, that's the greatest goddamn OOOs I've ever heard.
You know that I, slightly ironically, but because it was so horrible, here's what I ended up. One day I watched this Tom Jones, Sloop John B. Music video from British television from like 1969. Tom Jones is standing in a white Speedo with a captain's hat.
There's
on
nothing
a
ironic.
wooden
Yeah.
boat. No, he is not ironic
No,
at
but
all.
you said you watched it ironically.
To some extent, I watched it because it was
Like, I have to go home and-
mesmerizingly horrible.
Yeah, I have to go YouTube this on my phone when I'm
Oh.
in my truck at a red
Yeah,
light
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I'm not
He
this.
is-
I'm down.
It is the most viscerally sexual thing. He's standing on this boat. He is clearly at any point about to just get mobbed by these women who all just want to suck on some part of his body. Just his feet.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So it is clearly
Kept
hilarious.
it classy. I like that.
But he's wearing a white Speedo and a captain's hat.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is happening here? And then,
It's not what's
yesterday-
happening. It's what's being set up to happen.
Well, and then later, somebody posted Prince doing a guitar solo in some Beatles song in a George Harrison retrospective, and it was genuinely some of the finest music.
Prince is underrated.
Well,
You ever see him do Creep at Coachella?
No.
By Radiohead?
no, I
He
don't.
changes it to, I
have
wish
one Prince album,
I wish you were
sadly.
special.
Yeah.
Because I'm so fucking special. Because Radiohead is I wish I was special.
Oh yeah.
And only Prince.
Yeah.
I wish you were special. Because I'm so fucking special.
Yeah. He's pretty special.
Pajama Creep. I have a comedy album, Happy and a Lot, on iTunes that my
Happy
wife
and a lot.
my wife wrote the entire hour. It was a Showtime special.
Oh wow. She wrote the stand-up.
Written by Nikki Cox,
Okay.
performed by Jay Mohr.
Interesting.
It was like doing a Mammoth play. It was the most nerve-wracking.
because you had to get the words right. In
Yeah.
a stand-up
And she
venue.
is-
like a solo show more than stand-up.
She's a genius.
Right.
She's an insomniac, so I'll wake up and she'll hand me a notebook and I'll read. Like I was just at Irvine and I just went up there with like 3 pages in my pocket.
Yeah.
And like none of it has to be worked out, workshopped. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is like what this text that's written
That's how it goes.
Yeah, like midgets
and
refer to us as average. Like, fuck you, I'm not average. Like this whole long bit, like that was this weekend.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, my album iTunes, happy, period, and a lot, period.
Okay.
So if you're a gal and want to
50% of us are.
respect a gal who gets no credit ever, and that's my wife.
But she doesn't want to perform. She just wants to write for you.
Well, she's a great actress. I mean, she bought a house at 16 for crying. She's been on TV. She was in Paula Abdul videos at 8. She danced for Michael Jackson at 8.
Did she grow up here?
Yeah, Santa Monica.
That'll do it. So
Now she's like a mom, and she only wants to do words she's proud of.
She just wants to write.
No, she wants to act again, but she wants it to be words. Because she it was
But
like
she doesn't want to
unhappily
stand
ever
up.
after. Oh no.
Right.
That would
because right. So, but she
Unhappily
wrote
Ever
it.
After
Yeah.
was like a sitcom with a puppet.
Okay.
Rabbit, like a rabbit puppet. It was
Okay.
a guy that did Jerry Cohen and Ron Levitt, who did Married with Children.
Okay.
This was the other one. Mm-hmm. And it was like Kevin Connolly. Bobcat Goldthwait was the voice of the rabbit.
Right.
Jeff Pearson, who went on to play the president 19 different times. Then after that, it was like she went like from that. Then she did her own show called Nikki on the WB.
I vaguely
and then at the
remember that.
same time, Nick Von Esmark played her husband, who's like a dear friend. He played a pro wrestler, and she was a showgirl. And every show opened with like these elaborate dance numbers. And then at the same time, she went across the lot, and she was a guest star on Norm for 2 seasons.
Okay.
One of the most underrated shows ever is the Norm Show. And then
Norm Macdonald, right?
yes, of course. And
There you
then
go.
Las Vegas for 6 years. So like,
Right.
And in between all that, she's in like the Mr. Show movie and like doing all this
Yeah,
stuff. So
she works. It's fine.
but it was always either sitcomery
Yep.
or Las Vegas. She refers to as the Love Boat. Like,
Okay.
hey, Donny Osmond's here this week.
Yeah.
No, literally, Donny Osmond is here this week.
Right.
And I have to show him how to get to the Peach Pit to watch
Right.
watch Ciara sing.
Right.
So she wants to act again, but when it's words that she's proud of.
Right. She doesn't want to just act.
Right.
She wants to do something that she
ain't in it
wants
for the
to
money.
do. Fair enough.
So she wrote the entire hour, and
And so it's available on CD. Is it? And
no,
it was
on
a video-
iTunes. Download it on iTunes. But Happy and a Lot.
Is it a hard copy at all? Can people get? It's a DVD.
Not
then. It's
yet.
video.
Not yet, because Showtime owns it.
Okay.
I only made sure I pushed the iTunes release because I want to get nominated for a Grammy. So, man, it's pathetic. Because
Well,
I was talking to Lisa
You gotta ask the
Lampanelli.
universe, man. Yeah.
Lisa Lampanelli got nominated for a Grammy, right? For a comedy album. It was when she was on my More Stories.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, like as she's talking
When
to
was
me.
that?
Like 3 years ago. And as
Yeah.
she's talking to me, I just completely fade out. It's like a scene from like All That Jazz.
Right.
Like I'm not there. Like it's just her mouth. And I'm like, I can get nominated for a fucking Grammy? Mm-hmm. Like that's too bizarre. And then she said she was up against Harry Shearer, George Lopez, Stephen Wright. Like these are
Okay.
people like where if you don't win, you're
That's
like,
fine.
Like what are you going to do? It's Harry Shearer. It's Stephen. It's George Lopez.
Yeah.
Fucking Flight of the Conchords wins.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to her about it, she'll start yelling. Like,
Right.
those Kiwi like,
Yeah.
out of all the people.
Right.
But just,
But the Flight of the Conchords are amazing.
they're no Harry Shearer, Stephen Wright, or George. Look,
Right.
I am a hack from way back. Look, stimulus response. How many laughs are there? I know there's art to it.
Yes.
I enjoy the pauses more than
They
most.
they celebrate the silence in a way that is very New Zealandy. But
They ain't Harry Shearer, Stephen Wright, George Lopez.
No,
It's so dry it crackles.
they are not, and in a good way though. It's they are. I mean, the thing is maybe they
I
have the
would have been
greatest
mad.
album.
I would have been mad if I had
Well,
lost to them.
you're going to be mad if you
comparatively.
don't win.
No, that's not true. I've lost
If
before.
if Harry Shearer would have beat me, yes. The Stephen Wright, maybe. George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, fuck them.
yeah, fuck 'em.
I don't.
Fuck 'em right in
I
their
don't-
ear.
Well, no, it's I'm as good as either of them, quite honestly. And
I know,
people
you
are like,
actually are.
George Lopez is amazing. George Lopez is amazing at what he does. Lisa Lampanelli is actually amazing at what she does, but it is not necessarily for me.
But what you're doing,
But I love what Stephen Wright does, and I love what Harry Shearer does.
you know what's amazing about Stephen
actually
Wright? Stephen Wright's the only comedian in the history of comedy that started at 2,000-seat theaters, and 30 years later, the trajectory is exactly the same There's
He's
been no
still doing-
there's been no sitcom.
Well,
There's
he
been
had that
no
acting.
like
He didn't. Wasn't he mad about you for a little bit?
sorta, but like there's never been like I got to go do Bananas in Fort Lee,
You're-
New Jersey. There's no like arena.
No
there's no
tr-
movie. There's no sitcom. Just when he came out and we knew who he was, 2,000 seat theaters, and just a straight like.
I have to tell you, my favorite Stephen Wright story is that he did a guest set at my home club, Minneapolis, Acme Comedy Company.
That's where you did your album.
That's
you have
right.
You have a
That's
good
right.
album.
Yeah, good album. But the
Not Grammy nominated.
turns out, but the
Neither am I.
right. But the crazy thing is so he just runs. He's running a 5-minute set for Letterman. It's probably 10 years ago. And afterwards, people are going up and introducing themselves. My father, sadly, I think, said, "Weren't you on Friends?" to him, and he was very polite to my dad. Anyway, so but
I wasn't on Friends, but I was on a show called Enemies once. It was a reality show we shot in my garage. It was amazing. I gave it a shot.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice. But no. Well, my favorite joke at that point was he had this, and you could do this in his voice. I can't do voices, but it was, "I'm getting an MRI tomorrow to find out if I have claustrophobia." That is the joke,
That's a
and
good
it's one
joke.
of the greatest jokes in the world of 2-sentence jokes. But some guy, I'm just standing next to him because I think I was hosting at the time. Might have
never
been
heard that
20
joke.
years
That's
ago.
fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm standing next to him, and this guy comes up. He's like, huge fan.
Getting an
huge fan.
MRI tomorrow to see if I have claustrophobia.
More pause in between him getting
Yeah,
an
of
MRI
course.
tomorrow.
I just
and
know
then,
I'm pressed on time, so
right,
I fly through it.
pressed on time.
So some
Yeah.
guy goes up to him and says, "What?"
Yeah, and so he's talking to him, and Stephen Wright, perfectly polite, and he's like, "Thanks, I'm glad you're a huge fan." He goes, "What happened, man?" And he literally is looking him in the eye, and he goes, "You were so big at one point. And he's like, "No, I'm working the theater this weekend. It's going to be." And he didn't say, "I'm making $17,000 this weekend." Is there something wrong with that?
Right,
And
right.
and the guy is just like, "What?" And finally, and he won't shut up. He's like 35, a minute and a half of this, and finally, Stephen Wright goes, "Hey, you like baseball?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Change the subject." And he just said it, and it was the greatest.
Wow.
It was perfect. He just nailed the guy. I don't know. Stephen Wright may not even remember that, but I love Stephen Wright. He's just incredibly smart.
he's-
It's a treat to watch the guy.
Well, I saw one time he did it. It was on his last special, and I saw him doing it on Letterman leading up to it. But he did a bit that was so un-Stephen Wright because the setup was so long.
Oh wow!
It was like, when I was a kid, I used to work in a planetarium in Toronto. Like, first of all, no, you're from Boston. Like,
Right.
it starts like, wait, what?
I don't. Yeah,
Like
is he
working
Canadian?
working at a planetarium. He goes, and we had a softball team, and we'd play other planetariums in the neighborhood around surrounding cities, and we'd practice every night. And of course, it's 5 times longer, but
Than every
He
joke
goes-
he's ever written.
right now I'm doing it 20 times faster than the actual joke.
Yeah.
And it went on forever. Like, when we would rehearse, the first baseman would stand under Mercury, the second baseman would stand under Venus, shortstop would stand on Earth, and he goes through all the planets, all 9 positions.
Wow!
And then, well, Pluto's not a planet anymore. I got demoted, but you
Everybody's
get the
yelling
point.
at the phone, but we know.
He goes, right fielder standing on the Jupiter. And it just goes on. And he goes, then we had our first game. We had to forfeit because we were all standing way too far apart. It was like, wow, you brought me on a
That is
journey
so
and
awesome.
closed the gate behind me before I knew it.
Oh my god! So okay, StephenWright.com. You guys go buy that fucking album too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why not?
Dennis Miller's got a great, you said CAT scan. Dennis Miller
Yeah.
on the Off-White, best album name ever, the Off-White album.
Oh, that's funny.
I just got back from LA, Los Angeles, the only city where people list CAT scans as film credits on their resume. I always love that one.
I saw him 4 months ago in Santa Barbara. He was hanging out with who was in 10? Bo Derek. And
She lives up there with John Corbett.
and John Corbett.
They're a couple, yeah.
Right. So
Corbett's a good dude.
right. So John Corbett, Bo Derek, and Dennis Miller walk into a bar. No, they all walk into the back.
It's a good-looking trio right there.
It's a good-looking trio. What I thought was Bo Derek, the nicest of the three, quite honestly. Like, the only one who entered, I was a minion. So she introduced herself to me and was very nice. And I was like,
And she looks
Bo
great.
Derek?
Yeah, I saw her on Oprah's
60,
like
right?
Super Soul Sunday or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, she looks amazing.
She looks amazing. And I don't know if I don't know if people have had work.
Who cares? I'm going to get everything done.
Are you going to get everything done?
I'm balding. I need new veneers. I got medication to get my sperm count up and makes my nipples itch. I'm like a 12-year-old girl anyway. I have itchy titties right now.
Right now? Speaking
Yes.
of which, what are Scratch Away? What are, so what's with, I want to get back to
Oh,
Dork
sorry.
here. I really, because it's amazing. It's, though you were talking celebrities, and one of your other dorkdoms was celebrity pets. Do you guys have a pet?
I
Because you were
have
talking
3
about people
dogs.
with giant, like, cash flow with their animals,
Yeah,
and
there's
they're
a
booking them.
Yeah, there's a dog, Boo, who your listeners might know. The Rangers, Sex in the City, Carrie Bradshaw. Yes, and I know every episode of Sex in the City.
Well played. Did you see the second movie?
I did, and I actually thought it was fine.
Oh, it's the worst. You know how
You know what it was?
Which,
it was what it was. That's all.
Except for that, I really did like the first 2 seasons of Sex and the City.
It's a perfect television show. That's what people don't
first 2
understand.
seasons.
No, every season is 30 minutes of perfect television. You know how you know that?
How do you know that?
Because if you give Miranda in rehearsal one of Carrie's lines of dialogue,
Right.
the entire set would go, wait, hold on a second.
Oh, because the characters are so
They're
distinct?
set in stone.
Right.
Like Seinfeld. If Jason Alexander walked in and said, I'm taking my my rooster down to cockfight, you'd go, wait, what?
No, but if
That's
Kramer did it,
yeah.
Right, so the characterizations are very distinct. Which of the 4 would you be? Which
I'd be
character?
Carrie all day, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to sleep with Chris Noth.
What I would be is I would be in the second movie. I would be the Arab guy that gets the.
You'd be
them
Mario
arrested.
Cantone.
I would be I would be the one that gets them all arrested for being asshats. Because who's it? Miranda? Not Miranda. Who's the one who is the?
Samantha.
So is she the
Asian
the
baby?
planner? No, the planner, the party planner who gets them into everything.
I don't know.
It's she's always sleeping with super young guys, and
Samantha.
is it Samantha?
The older woman that's
The
like
old,
the
the
slut
oldest
lady.
of the
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 slutty
oldest
lady.
of them, yeah. And so I would
Kim
be
Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall, yeah, I would be the Arab guy who got Kim Cattrall arrested.
On Family Guy, they had a Kim Cattrall scene.
Yeah, do the porch now, Rodolfo. Yeah, that's great.
Kim Cattrall was about to have sex on the Family Guy, and the guy jumped on top of her, and she smashed into dust. It's like, wow. But you were asking, Sex in the City.
Yeah,
How did we get there?
we got there through
I watch every episode
pets.
because I'm going to tell. So one day Carrie Bradshaw has her book release,
Okay.
and the lines around the block, and nobody comes up to her. They're all in line for Boo, the dog,
Really?
the world's most beautiful dog, Boo. It's a little Pomeranian.
Okay.
So that got on my radar. It was hilarious.
Okay.
Then there's a dog. You can go on the website of the world's most beautiful dog, and the web page says, like, is he a savant? Is he an alien? Is he the Buddha? And, like, you click here for bookings. And my friend told me about CatCon,
Yeah.
and there's a cat, Lil Bub.
Lil Bub.
He's my phone guy. It's great. What do you call that? Phone holder?
Right. He's on
Phone
a
case. And at CatCon, like Comic Con, you go and you walk around. But if you wanted a Polaroid with that fucking cat, it's $175.
And Lil Bub, is this not a kitten? This is some sort of
Regular
pig
cat,
meat.
just a beautiful cat.
Just been pig
Got a little
meat or
white mitt-
something?
Huh?
Is it little? It looks
No.
like a kitten.
I mean, he's smallish. He's on the small side.
Okay.
But like, just the fact that you can get your cat, $175, 1,000 people. That's nuts, right?
Yeah, that is.
So I have 3 dogs. They're on my Instagram, Jay Mohr Sports.
Okay.
And I got a Yorkie named Mabel. Beautiful. I have a Maltese named Dolores Delago, the Toast of Chicago. Not beautiful, kind of weird looking.
Right.
Her mustache gets yellow too quickly. But
But you love her.
I got a Pomeranian named Security.
Yep.
She's 3 pounds. They're all 3 pounds.
Okay.
This Pomeranian, I'm going after Bo.
Okay. You're going to head to head.
This dog's way more beautiful than Boo. Mabel, if I got on Mabel when she was like a year and a half years old, 2 years old.
Is it because they're trained to do shit too? Can they
No,
do
they're
things?
just aesthetically so pleasing to look at. They're models.
Okay.
They can't talk.
Will
just
they
like
sit there?
Just like human being models. You can't have a conversation with my Pomeranian.
Right.
And they'll make you feel a little weird when you walk away. But I want to make a run at these assholes that think they're like,
right,
no, you don't
like,
have the most beautiful animal. And I think like having some celebrity, I could actually, if I really wanted to.
Right. You got to work an angle.
I think I could actually bump Boo or Lil Bub or Grumpy Cat. You've seen, looks
Grumpy
like Wilford
Cat.
Brimley.
Yep.
Like I'm bumping these fuckers out. Can you, like, I can go to like DogCon and make $100,000 with Polaroids.
Yeah. Have you been to FamilyPetAncestry.com?
All right.
I bought it. It's mine.
You mentioned it on your podcast.
Right, because it's
I didn't know you really did.
No, I bought it because it's funny. Because don't you want to know if your cat came over on the Mayflower? Anyway, but it's
amazing.
After I did that joke on Conan, a guy actually emailed me, and I don't know if it's true. Half of me wants it to be true, and half thinks that he's a hilarious guy. But he emails me, he's like, my cat's actually a direct descendant of Harry Truman's cat. And I was like, well, that can't be true, but maybe it's true. And it made me laugh so hard.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Jay Mohr, it's been an hour, by the way.
How did Harry Truman have cats?
Well, why wouldn't Harry Truman have cats? He's an American.
He's from Missouri. He's from Independence, Missouri.
You'd think dogs.
Nice
He's a
hound.
man. Right. He bombed Nagasaki for no reason.
This was very simple and easy, which speaks volumes to how effortlessly you are at guiding a conversation.
Well, there we go. And an hour has passed. And people, go see Jay Mohr. He's going to be October 17th in Houston.
House of Blues in Houston.
That's it. And October 22nd in Phoenix.
That whole weekend, Stand Up Live, 22, 23, 24, with Dean
good.
Del Rey. That'll be great. I want to see some Rangers. Bring your Dork Forest T-shirts to my shows.
Right,
and
you
I can just
point
see
them out.
I don't pick on anybody ever in the audience. You never have to worry.
No, my self-absorption is complete. I don't pick on anybody.
You guys work too hard for a living, man.
But you go to jmohr.com, you go at jmohr37, and Jay Mohr Sports on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. So
get my app for my podcast.
Get your app.
More stories.
Get Happy Dot and a Lot Dot from iTunes, and go out there and watch little Real Housewives.
I really think you're cool, Jackie.
And also with you, Jay Mohr. Quite
I do.
honestly.
I'm being honest.
we
can do any podcast, but I was like, no, I got to do Jackie's.
That's awesome, man. Thanks.
Thanks, love.
Take care out there. Bye.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?